Greetings, my friends. Happy Saturday to all of you. Lawmakers in Congress have just released a new social spending plan that would address inflation. There are several new provisions that have been included into the new version of the Build Back Better package. Friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for all of the new details. Also, I will be giving away a $75 Walmart gift card 4 days a week. If you would like to enter the giveaways, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. Remember, friends, the more often you comment below a keyword on a video, the greater your chance of winning the giveaway. The next giveaway is scheduled for tomorrow, so please stay tuned for the video. And do remember to enter the keywords in the comment section below.
We're taking action to address gas prices as well. Today, gas prices are lower than they were early in this decade, but they're still high enough to create a pinch on working families. One key thing about the infrastructure bill that just passed the Senate is there are no gas tax increases. No gas tax increases. I made that absolutely clear that I would not raise gas taxes. I'm glad everyone in the Senate seemed to agree with that. But that's not enough. Recently, we've seen the price that oil companies pay for a barrel of oil begin to fall. But the cost of gasolines at the pump for more American people hasn't fallen. That's not what you'd expect in a competitive market. I want to make sure that nothing stands in the way of oil price declines leading to lower prices for consumers. So today, my director of the National Economic Council has asked the chair of the Federal Trade Commission to use every available tool to monitor the U.S. gasoline market and address any illegal conduct that might be contributing to price increases at the pump while the cost of barrel oil is going down. We also made clear to OPEC, the major oil exporting nations of the world, that the production cuts made during the pandemic should be reversed as the global economy recovers in order to lower.
Now, friends, across the country, fuel prices are rising, rent is increasing rapidly, and elections are coming in November. As inflation and high costs of living spoil the country's economic mood, President Biden has revived a recent talking point to get across how seriously he takes the country's economic situation. Biden now says that reducing the deficit will also lower inflation. Cutting government spending is not really top of mind for most American voters. Some experts say that balancing federal budgets is not going to be enough to motivate Democratic voters to turn out in the midterm elections. The federal budget deficit hardly registers in recent polling on the country's most pressing problem. But inflation is at the top of the list. With the midterm elections coming up and a new inflation estimate scheduled to be released next week, the White House is now making deficit reduction a core part of its intense efforts this month to convince voters the economy is getting better. It marks a pivot point. President Biden campaigned on wanting to be a transformative president. He pushed for massive spending packages throughout 2021 and played down concerns of inflation to boost those proposals. But now the president sounds more cautious about big government spending. That pivot started at his State of the Union speech earlier this year. During his speech, President Biden said, "My plan to fight inflation will lower your cost and lower the deficit. By the end of this year, the deficit will be down to less than half what it was before I took office." Sadly, inflation has gotten steadily worse and stayed high since then. Biden rolled out a three-pronged approach, one being deficit reduction to wrangle inflation. He's also discussing the deficit in speeches and has addressed the country about it again earlier this week. So friends, the federal deficit is the amount of money that the federal government spends in a year's budget beyond what it has collected in revenue. That shortfall gets added to the country's total debt. The United States has run up a budget deficit every year since at least the early 1970s, except for 4 years between 1998 and 2002. The country ran its largest deficits during the years of 2020 and 2021 because of the emergency crisis spending through the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan. As unemployment has dropped and the nation's overall economic recovery sped up over the last year, that deficit dropped in 2021. An even bigger drop is projected by the end of 2022 fiscal year in September. Over the last few months, Biden has taken credit for this drop in the deficit in his State of the Union address, in speeches throughout April and last month. As gas prices remain near record highs, the state of New York has become the latest state to suspend its gas tax in an effort to give drivers some relief at the gas pump. The suspension of the 16 cents per gallon tax runs from June 1st through the end of this year. The national average for a gallon of gas hit $4.62 for regular unleaded gas on March 31st. Diesel gas prices hit a record high on May 18th at $5.58 per gallon. In New York, gas prices hit a record in late May, as well as $4.93 a gallon before easing slightly. These climbing fuel prices come as millions of Americans are set to hit the road on vacations over the summer. For the first time in a couple of years after travel plunged during the crisis, nearly 40 million Americans traveled over the Memorial Day weekend. That is up from last year and just below pre-crisis levels. Friends, the key word for this video is Mount Rushmore. If you would like to enter tomorrow's Walmart gift card giveaway, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below this keyword, which is Mount Rushmore, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. And do make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. At the federal level, the Biden administration at the end of March announced a release of 1 million barrels of crude oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve per day for the next 6 months. It was to help serve as what the White House called a bridge as production ramps up. It came after a release of 30 million barrels in early March and another 50 million barrels last fall. Well, my amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I truly hope that you found some of this information helpful. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and blessed Saturday.